Hello, this is Leona Dooley, and you are welcome to Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, where we will prepare delicious meals. We will decorate our homes beautifully. We will work hard. We'll love God and our family, and we'll figure out that everything else is just gravy. I welcome you this week, for we are in the second week of this series of taking a look at our menu planning, taking a look at the meals that we're serving our family, the quality of those meals, kicking it up a notch, and we're going to take a look at how to get it down. Either you can do it digitally or you can do it on paper. And so I choose to do it on paper just because I like the feel of paper and I like being able to write it down. When I write it down in my mind, it's committed. And so we're going to take a look at that, and this week a closer look. So join me. I'm taking a look at my monthly menu ideas. You'll see that I have about anywhere from 20 to 25 different possible meals for the month of August. And usually I will pull menu ideas from this list. Now, over to my actual menu plan and grocery list. This is what I use to develop my grocery list. And for this week, you'll see for Monday, I'm planning turkey and dressing. Yes, in August. We'll have some I'm going to have a French green bean salad. Tuesday, chicken marsala. Wednesday, some homemade tomato soup with some grilled cheese sammies. Thursday, we're having steaks with baked potatoes. Yum, yum. And Friday is almost always my fish fry. Now, Saturday, notice it's blank. Sunday, it's blank because that's still pretty far out. And it's very possible that I will have dinner with friends. So because of that, I typically, especially this early in the week, leave those boxes blank until needed. But let's go over to the grocery side where I have my grocery list. And you'll see that I put some check marks over here. I have my turkey checked off because it's in the freezer. I just have to take it out. The chicken for the masala is already taken care of. And you'll notice that I don't require any meats this week. No dairy this week. The only canned goods I guess you could say I really need will be like the chicken broth. I'm going to need a little bit of poultry seasoning. I do need some produce though. More then maybe a little. I need a bag of onions, some celery, some apples, some cherries. And you know what? I left off tomatoes. So let's see if I can. We love fresh tomatoes. I also need some cucumbers. Let's put cukes. So that's the produce for this week. My dry goods, I want a brownie mix because I'm going to make some brownies this week. For the dressing, I think I have enough cornbread in the freezer, but I'll check and make sure because whatever I don't have for the dressing ingredients, I will do that from scratch. So I'll need to check those and make sure that I have everything I need. If you're a new mom, you may even want to use stovetop. Hey, I'm not hating it. There are days I will go to that. We need bagels. Not so much for me, but the big guy likes bagels. I do need some Marsala wine. And of course, with brownies, nice warm brownies, we're going to want some ice cream. So, voila. My list this week for groceries is very short. Voila, that's going to be a great thing because I have everything I need in my freezer. So, let's get down to cooking. I wanted you to see that in spite of the fact that I had a plan for this week, sometimes activities change and the week changes. There are just things going on with your family. And you'll have these types of things to happen as well. And so what basically happened was I forgot to get the turkey out in time and to have it thawed and ready to go into the oven. So I've actually kicked it back to next week. You'll notice that I did chicken marsala for Monday. And initially I had thought, well, I'll just drop that turkey down to the bottom, but there's going to be some life things going on. So because of that, I'm not going to do the turkey this week. I'll do it one day next week. Notice that for Tuesday, I'm going to have steaks, baked potatoes, nice salad, and we're done. The reason for that is because the big guy had quite a bit of leftovers from our Sunday dinner. He wants those leftovers today. So I'm just going to pop myself a steak in the oven. And I have some baked potatoes. I'll take care of that. And we'll be ready to go. We'll have tonight's dinner. So I don't really have to do a lot of cooking tonight. For Wednesday, I'm sticking with my tomato soup for Wednesday with the grilled cheese Sammy's. That's easy. But I'm going to bring you down. Friday hasn't changed. But remember, I left Saturday and Sunday blank. Well, guess what? I got volunteered for a cookout. And we're going to have about 10 to 12 people. So we're going to keep it simple. We're going to have some hamburgers, some hot dogs, and all the fixings. And so those I may have to actually add a few things and go back to the grocery and pick up the hamburgers, the buns, the hot dogs. And I've got plenty of mustard, relish, onions, those kind of things I already have. So I just need to go back and pick up the meat. But don't you love it? You'll plan, the week changes, and you just roll with the punches. Remember that gravy? Everything else is gravy. So I'll continue on for the week. I have in this bowl the sugar and the butter, and I'm going to take the time and I'm going to use my spatula, and I'm going to mix the butter and cream the butter and sugar together. Now, of course, I could do this, and I may end up actually doing it with the mixer, but I kind of like doing it by hand as far as I can until my hand gets tired, and just kind of mix everything up. Now, once I've done that, then I'll start to add the 8 eggs. And you can see the 8 eggs are sitting right there. But I need to get this really good and mixed. Everything nice and incorporated. Okay, I think I've just about done it. All the sugar is taken care of. Now, I'm going to start to add the eggs. I am going to use my mixer for the eggs because I just think it'll go better. I'm going to crack one, put them in the bowl just so I know that they're good and no shells, and then put them into the mix. So one at a time, we're going to beat. So once I get all the 8 eggs in, I'll come back to you. Okay, we're ready for the last egg. This is the 8th egg. I'm going to put it in. I'll go ahead and mix. Really good mix. The color is beautiful. How light and fluffy that is. It's full of lots of air. Now you know this portion of your cake, you could mix all day. Not a problem. It's once you add the flour to this mix that you cannot mix but a couple of seconds. So we're going to get this nice and fluffy. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of salt. And mix again. I have grated the rind of 2 lemons, and I've used the finest side of my grater. It's that side of the grater that's very, very, very tiny, and you can see what I've grind down there. I'll do a little more scrubbing. I've got about 1 more time to do it. You want to make sure you get it pretty clean, but you don't want a lot of the white. So that's going to, I'm just trying to kind of clean it off a little bit. Make sure I have all of that taken care of. And then I'm going to juice my 2 lemons. Okay, that's done. And I have a little juicer that I'm going to use. I'm going to cut my lemons in half. And actually, I am going to put the strainer here because what I don't want are all the seeds, and it has a ton of seeds. But I do want, but they're very juicy, so I want all the juice. Okay, that's a half. Okay, that's just about 1 lemon. Wish you could really see all the seeds. It's amazing how many seeds are in that one little tiny lemon. Jeez. Very seedy. Right, 2nd lemon. Okay. And the last half. Now I'm doing this because the as much of the juice out as possible without the seeds. Yay! No seeds. They're gone. Alright, so this juice is ready, but it's not ready to add to the mixture yet. Now, what we're going to start doing, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to just take this out for a moment, sit it over in this bowl. And what we're going to start doing is putting the flour mixture in. I'm going to put about 1/3 of it in. And then using my spatula, I'm going to start to mix. Now the reason for doing this portion with the hand is that I don't want to overmix. And according to White Lily and King Arthur flour, they say that it's pretty impossible to overmix when you're doing it by hand. So that's why I start off with my doing it by hand, and then just the last minute I'll put it on the mixer. Okay, another third. Turn it in. Let me stop that vacuum. Okay, we're on the last third of the flour. I'm going to fold it in. So creamy, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful cake mix. The color is just a lemony yellow, which you would expect. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to add the lemon rind and the juice. I'm going to start folding that in. Okay, and use this rather than my fingers. Most of the time I would just use my fingers and scrape it, but I won't do that on camera. I'll do it the right way. Okay, guys. Now, there's my hand real quick. Okay, this is the wow part. I'm going to turn the mixer on. I'm going to count to 10. That's it. And that's all the mixing that's going to take place. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's it. That's it. Tastes good. Let's get it ready for the pan. I have greased and floured this pan. So I'm going to start pouring it in. And looking for my spatula. There it is. I washed it while you were off. Didn't think you needed to know how to wash it. And turn as I pour, and of course I made a mess. You didn't see that. paper towel, and I'm going to kind of clean up the edges so there won't be much of a mess. This is a Wilton pan, and supposedly they bake wonderful. So we'll see. We'll see how well it does. Been well greased and floured. I'm going to give it a little to make sure it settles well on the bottom. I'm going to put this in a 325-degree oven for about an hour and a half. Now, at about probably an hour and 15 minutes, I'll start to check it with a skewer or a toothpick just to see where it is and how long it needs to cook, because you don't want to overcook it. And if it looks like it's going to start to spill, obviously we'll need to put a pan underneath. But it should be just fine in the oven, and we're ready to go. So I'll bring you back when it's time to bring it out. Now, I'm going to get all of this cleaned up, and probably in about a half an hour, I will start the icing that's going to go on top once the cake is cool. So get ready, because we have to put the icing on while the cake, it's really a sauce, but while the cake's hot, that's when we need to put it on. So we'll have to get that ready just before time for it to come out. So I'll bring you back. Okay, we're preparing for the second time to sift, and you'll notice that it falls much easier. In fact, I can even just kind of take it like this, and there should be very little debris that's left in the bottom. So I'm going to continue with number 2. Okay, now we're ready for sift number 3. Got everything in the bowl. That was our second time. And I mean, the flour is aerated, it's much lighter, and we're going to take care of the third sift. Now, to be honest with you, we're going to do it 4 times, but for now, we're just doing the 3. We're going to get it measured out, and then we will sift that last time when we get ready to finally put it into the actual cake. So here's one. All right, it's time to measure it out. This is a 1 cup measure, and I'm going to scoop flour into our 1 cup measure and kind of overfill it just a little bit. It's okay if it falls back in. Then take your knife and tap that's to make sure it's in, and take the back of your knife, scrape across the top, and put it into your container that you're going to make it. Now I'm going to continue to do that. That was cup number 1, and I need 4 cups of flour. Okay, tap, 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 scrape. 2, scrape. 3, 4. Good tap. Make sure I turn it over correctly. And tap it in to fill it in good. And 4. And that's 4 cups, even, of flour. All right, we got that. Now, this is extra. I'll put that back into the flour container a little later. I won't hold you up with that. Now, at this point, it's all prepared. It's ready for the cake. And once I get everything moving, then I can do that last sift directly into my mixing bowl. Okay? I'll be back. I am preparing for our cookout this weekend. And sometimes, you may be in a situation where you may not have a sifter. That happens to be my case where I am at this point. No sifter, so I am using a fine mesh strainer. And I have placed my flour into this mesh strainer, and I'm just tapping it. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do this at least 3 times to make sure I get whatever little bits and pieces that, flour just tends to get a little clumpy along the way. And when I get down to little pieces that I just can't sift away, then I'll toss them out. But that's a good reminder. Most of us, I don't know, I haven't had a sifter in years. Once I knew this, then that was what I did. I just used my mesh strainer to sift. But if you want a gentle, a soft, light textured cake, then what you will want to do is to sift your flour at least 3 times. I even sift my cake flour. If the recipe calls for cake flour, then that's what I do. But I'm going to continue to sift. I'm not going to take you through all of that, but I do want you to know that that's what I did. At least 3 to 4 times. Well, we're coming to an end of week 32, and we were successful with cookout, made it to church on Sunday, and of course had dinner with friends because that's our usual Sunday activity. And what a blessed week. It was really a great week. It was fun to have friends and over and just to enjoy ourselves. Week 32, because of this change in plans, you'll see as you looked at the video that we had to kind of do a putt and kick because I had one thing planned for the week, and we had to add a few things midweek. So I had to make a second trip to the grocery, but hey, that's okay. I was good with that. One more trip. And everything came out successful. So, to close out, first of all, I hope that being able to look at your menu planning, being able to at least be able to list 5 dishes that you may prepare for the week. And sometimes the order of the dishes may change, but you have everything you need in your kitchen, ready to go. So it's not a problem when you have to change the order, or you have to change the day, or you even add a couple of people to the table. It's all about just having a plan. Having a plan lessens the stress in the kitchen. So, without further ado, as always, work hard. Work hard, love God and your family, and remember, the rest is just gravy. So, God bless.